after that day, you then have to somehow, as a family, pick up the pieces, and life is just meant to continue and go on. And so for you girls, how has that been to try and move on from this?
It's been really difficult for me because, like, it just plays on my mind a lot.
You think about it a lot, do you? And Mum, you noticed with her that she just started to withdraw a lot.
Yeah, straight afterwards she started to withdraw. She rarely goes out of her room, do you? She sits in there listening to Ariana all day, every day.
Yeah.
And, yeah, she just got very withdrawn. She's not eating as much as she used to.
Yeah.
How much help did you get?
In the beginning, or...
Through.
We went to the doctor, and what we were told was that they don't see you until they give you 6 months for the trauma to set in. So around...
But the trauma had already set in and very quickly.
Yeah, we felt it did, but we kept getting told several times we wait for 6 months for trauma to set in. That seemed to be the standard line. So we ended up self-referring to a local service called Youth Therapy. And I think we referred to there in the summer, and she started counselling in November. She had 6 sessions between November and January, and she's had nothing since. She's just on waiting lists.
Suddenly stop?
Yeah, it's done. They think we think it was because she needs CBT. So they put her on a waiting list for CBT.
How long's the waiting list?
They can't give us a time.
And it's
so other than that, the youth therapy, there's nothing else that's really
we've
happened
had,
at all.
No.
My goodness me. And what about for you, Emily? Then, what sort of how's that process been for you? Straight after the incident itself.
I was already with CAMS because I'd already had, like, depression and stuff.
Right.
But straight after it happened, we had, like, one thing with CAMS, and then that was kind of it. And it was just, oh, here you go, bye.
And so you were sort of left to your own devices to sort of pick up the pieces?
You just get told you've got anxiety now and PTSD.
But they don't arm you with any tools in
You
which
don't get any, like...
help yourself?
No.
And are there any follow-ups? Was there any advice?
No. Well, the advice is always, if they get worse, you phone the out of our team or go to A&E, but you're not actually told what to look for, what is worse, because it could be different. Well, it will be different for everybody.
Yeah.
And having the trauma yourself, you're not really the best person to be looking out for these things.
Yeah.
I'm no expert.
And the thing is, it did get worse for you, didn't it? And there's been some very dark moments in your life in the last year.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. I know that you're here to talk, but you don't mind us referring to it.
Okay.
But there has been 2 occasions when you've talked about and considered taking your own life. One moment where it got very serious indeed, and I know that you have since got help for that. So where are you now?
She actually hasn't had any help from the one 5 weeks ago after we watched that documentary when she took the scissors to her wrist. We had no follow-up.
So hang on, I mean, for you must be just thinking, how much worse does this need to get for me to get some help?
Well, that's just it. I don't know what it's going to take, because the last time she was at A&E was 5 weeks ago, and she's had no appointments since then. She's seen her doctor, who just only deals with her medication. He's himself said he can't do therapy. She's like a year waiting list for that.
Well, in 2015, the government pledged to spend an extra £1.4 billion over 5 years to transform CAMS. What do you think of that?
To be honest, through CAMS, we've had 4 assessments now for Callie who have all agreed she needs help, but nothing actually happens. We got told by the last lady that we saw that she's the only EMDR specialist in Blackpool. We've got 1. So
it's not enough, is it?
It's not enough.
And Callie, for you, your friends are, the same age as you, 13, and they're being normal teenagers, and you feel very different to them, don't you, after what you've seen? Is it hard for them to understand what you're going through?
Yeah, because people only get it if they were there, and there's not a lot of people in my school that were there.
Yeah.
You speak a lot, don't you, to the children? We're in a group, and all the children are waiting for help.
Is that
It's not
right?
just us, yeah.
How many children?
There's 166 of us in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
And
We were at that event?
We were at the event, and I'd say probably 90% are either waiting or it was a long time to wait, and they've only just
Most
started.
have only just started their therapy. Emily's only had 2 sessions, and
So
that's only because the hub took over.
Yeah, the children speak amongst themselves, don't they? That's their only support they have at the moment.
Because you sort of imagine when you... And we've said this before, that something hideous like this happens to the families and everyone that was involved in it, and then the world moves on, and we all assume that what happens is that, right, OK, so here's the next bit of news that's come along. Are they OK? They're going to be looked after? Because you always, I always assume that there are teams of people that race in and make sure that everybody's OK.
You do think that, because like, when it's the previous attacks have happened, that's exactly how I thought. Then I thought, once this had happened, I rang CAMS to tell them that Emily had been there, and there was nothing.
No,
it was
it's
just
shocking.
Yeah.
It's really shocking. I mean, here, when we do phone-ins, we're like, speak to this person, there is help out there, there is help out there, and you're right at the front of this, asking for help, and it's not there.
They say it's there, but then you just get put on a list for months, even a year away, and the problem's now, not in a year's time.
Well, the number of children seeking help from mental health services in Manchester spiked by 10% in the wake of the terror attack. 1 in 10 children aged 15 to 16, that's 3 in every classroom, have been diagnosed with a mental health disorder. We've got a right of reply here from Sarah Turner, who's the head of communications at Chesterfield NHS Foundation. She said, we're always sorry and disappointed to hear that a young person and their family feel let down by our services. In cases like these, we often provide open access to our team of professionals, which mean we're always available for help and advice when it's needed. Now we know about these concerns, we would welcome an opportunity to have a conversation about them. So hopefully this will, for you and for the other families, will open another line of
There's a lot of
communication.
us, and that's just the ones that we know about. I'm sure there's many, many more.